Hi, I'm here with Daniel Johnston with the St. Andrew's Labor Society. So, tell me, what does it mean to be a member of the Labor Party?
Yeah. Well, for me, what it means to be a member of the Labour Party is the core values that bind us together.
Okay.
And the core values are ones of equality, democracy, and social justice. Where we want to see a society where we're not held back because of where we are born to or to whom we are born, a society that works for the many and not for the few, and one that rewards hard work and not just privilege.
Right, okay. So what does the Labour Party see as the main issues in this election?
Well, it's going out door knocking and reading about what's been happening. It's obvious. It's and feeling it myself and seeing it from my friends and family. It's the fact that ordinary hardworking people are struggling to make provide for basic services. It's a cost of living crisis. It's a fact that under this government, the rise in the food bank use has been 1,422%.
Whoa.
This is the Tories and the Lib Dems. In Scotland alone, we used to have one food bank, and now we have 48. And it's disgusting. It's awful that we live in a society we've reverted back to Victorian and Dickensian methods of feeding the poor and feeding the most vulnerable. And it's utterly disgusting. It's a fact that people can't get houses. There's not enough houses being built. It's a fact that people are unable to get to the NHS and be seen within 4 hours. The fact that there's a creeping privatization of our most important and beloved institution. It's utterly disgusting. And the thing is, the Labour Party are the only ones that have a real, fully costed and proper plan to deal with it. We're the ones, well, in Scotland, for example, we're going to plough, unlike the SNP right now, who are only ploughing £1 million into tackling the causes of food poverty, through being able to scrap the bedroom tax and the subsidies SNP currently give to limiting that. Because we can be a United Kingdom, we can scrap the bedroom tax, and we can plough over £175 million in Scotland alone to tackle the rise in food banks use. We're going to freeze energy prices, they can only fall and not rise, to help people with basic living costs. We're going to set up a national childcare service that ordinary working families can get 25 hours of free daycare for 3 to 4-year-olds. We're going to cap private profits in the NHS. We're going to invest £2.5 billion a year by having, and it's fully costed, by having a windfall tax in tobacco companies, a mansion tax on properties worth over £1 million, and by clamping down on aggressive on tax avoidance. We want to set up a green investment bank so that we can set up the green high-skilled jobs that we need for our future. And to stimulate small businesses and entrepreneurs. We want to bring back the 10p tax rate so that 24 million people can see a tax cut and to help. We want to fundamentally change the society so that it's not one where we prioritize, like the Tories have, cutting the top rate of tax from 50p to 45p. We want to see a society that doesn't see the creeping privatization of NHS. It's about making things work for the many and not for the few.
Right, okay. So more specifically, how does this affect St. Andrews students positively?
Well, St. Andrews students, for example, well, there's things that we as a society are doing, and there's things the Labour Party are doing. So as a society, we've run two campaigns. We ran a campaign to ensure that staff are paid a living wage. That was 2 years ago. Then the university has now fallen back on that commitment. We're now running a campaign to abolish the use of zero-hour contracts. The university, I rather say they don't have zero-hour contracts, but ultimately they don't guarantee minimum numbers of hours for students who are working here. And so that means that there's a two-tier level of staff. If students feel unable to call out inappropriate behavior, they can get dismissed for no reasons. And so what we've done is that we've launched a campaign, we've collected petitions, we've met with the Quaestor, and we're right now engaged in a dialogue, and hopefully we'll be able to ensure that students who work here throughout term time will be guaranteed a minimum number of hours that retains ultimate flexibility, so they can swap shifts whenever they want. They can not work some hours, some weeks, but they won't get fired for no reason whatsoever. They won't have to suffer inappropriate behavior because they'll be able to call out any awful, disgusting behavior that they might witness and not fear losing their hours. So that's what we're doing on the here as a society. What we're doing nationally, well, Labour have said, if they're going to get government, they're going to ban exploitative 0-hour contracts. If you're on regular hours, 4 weeks, you're guaranteed, you'll be guaranteed the right to get a permanent contract. What we're going to do for young people, we're going to abolish unpaid internships. It's disgusting that people now work for free, and what we're going to do is, if you work for more than 4 weeks, so that you can still get your work experience, but if you work for more than 4 weeks, you will be guaranteed to be paid the minimum wage at the very least. Talking about the minimum wage, what students are often paid, we're going to increase it to £8 an hour. George Osborne promised that he would increase it in line above inflation. If that was the case, it should have been £7.50 right now. And it's not. It's nowhere near. We're going to make sure that at least by October 2019, it will be £8 an hour. And it will help students because we're often the ones that have, those are often the jobs that are available to us whilst we are working in university. What else we're going to do? We're going to cap rail fares so that when we travel home from uni and back home to wherever we live, rail fares won't increase above inflation, as they have under this government. We want to ensure that we want to cut tuition fees from £9,000 to £6,000 because it simply doesn't make sense right now that we have a £9,000 tuition fee structure and most people won't pay this off. And they're saddled with debt that makes them constrained, that disciplines them. And we want to, Ed Miliband's committed to cutting that, and he's going to cut, and it's a fully costed policy, as with everything we do. We're not just promising the world and then failing to deliver. Everything we promise was fully costed, so the tuition fee thing, for example, will be paid for by closing down, by closing tax relief for wealthy pensioners, so that younger people won't be saddled with much debt. Personally, I want to abolish tuition fees. I'm a member of the Labour Party, and hey, I want to see them completely gone. And this is the thing: what can students do for the Labour Party? What the Labour Party is already doing so much for students. But if you share our values, join in and get involved. Join people like me. If you believe tuition fees shouldn't be a thing, get involved and help pressure the Labour Party. There's a huge group of us already, and help shape and change that. Help change the only party that can get into government to move towards a more progressive direction. Get involved.
Right. Thank you very much for speaking with us.
Okay.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Sorry.
For the same, I'm Bree Chu.
Yeah.